Hello and welcome. In today's video I'll be covering the Aroon indicator and the various uses that are possible with it, such as identifying new trends or consolidation periods. The name for this indicator sounds rather exotic. It literally refers to the dawn's early light in Sanskrit, and the connection to the world of technical analysis is quickly made when you give it some thought. The dawn is a reference to the new trend, and with the early light there is a reference to the ability of this indicator to make the new trend visible at an early stage. This indicator was designed by Tushar Shende in 1995. He is a market-leading technical analyst with over 25 years of experience and the creator of some widespread and popular technical indicators such as this Aroon indicator and many others. He founded several successful asset management firms and wrote some books, mainly on technical analysis. So if you want to know more about this indicator, stay tuned. My name is Christoph and welcome to ChartMill. The indicator actually consists of two separate indicator lines, the Aroon up and the Aroon down line. The middle value 50 also plays an important role in the interpretation of the indicator. 25 is the default value of the indicator and period is the time frame used in the indicator. So on a daily chart, the period of each bar or candle is 1 day. On an hourly chart, each period corresponds to an hour. All values are calculated as a percentage value indicating the time since the previous high within that specific period. The Aroon up measures how long it has been since the prices reached a new high within the predefined period, in this case 25 periods. If the highest price of the most recent period is the highest within that predefined period, then the Aroon up will have a value of 100. In case the highest price is at the beginning of the predefined period, or it is located even further in the past, then the value of the Aroon up will be 0. 50 is the exact midpoint. This means that with a standard period of 25, the value 50 corresponds exactly to 12.5 periods. Logically, the Aroon down will measure how long it has been since the prices reached a new low within the same defined period. If the lowest price of the most recent period is the lowest within the predefined period, then the Aroon down will have a value of 100. In case the lowest price is at the beginning of the predefined period, or it is located even further in the past, then the value of the Aroon down will be 0. Again, 50 is the midpoint with which a standard period of 25 corresponds to 12.5 periods. It is important to remember that on a daily chart, where each period represents exactly 1 day, the exact value 50 will never be visible, because this value corresponds to 12.5 days. The closest possible number less than 50 is 48, which is 13 days. And the closest possible value higher than 50 is 52, which corresponds to 12 days. What is striking about this indicator is that it differs greatly from other momentum oscillators, because this indicator focuses primarily on time. Indeed, the indicator changes as the time between a new high or low increases. The indicator is used to discover and anticipate new potential trends early on, identify sideways markets, but also to visualize correction periods within existing trends. It is a very versatile indicator, but it takes some time and some practice to use it correctly. The most basic application of this indicator is to use it as a simple overall trend filter. This is done by looking at the location of the Aroon up and Aroon down in relation to the 50 level, which tells us something about the existing trend. This is considered positive if the Aroon up is above 50 and Aroon down is below 50 at the same time. Buyers are in favor. However, if the Aroon up quotes below 50 and the Aroon down quotes above 50, then the reverse is true. In that case, it is the most recent lows that lie in the last half of the pre-specified period, and sellers are in the lead. In order to detect potential new trends early on, we look at the progress of the Aroon up and Aroon down. The first important signal occurs when the Aroon up line moves above the Aroon down, which means that new highs occur more recently than new lows. This is then followed by an initial confirmation when the Aroon up is above 50 and the Aroon down is below 50. Finally, there is the last confirmation at the time when the Aroon up reaches the value of 100 while the Aroon down continues to quote low. The progression is exactly the same as for a new uptrend, except that now it is the Aroon down that is rising above the Aroon up. New lows are more recent than new highs. This is followed by an initial confirmation when the Aroon down is above 50 and the Aroon up is below 50. Lastly, there is the final confirmation at the time when the Aroon down reaches the value of 100 while the Aroon up continues to quote low. Keep in mind that the order of the signals does not have to follow this exact sequence. In this chart, for example, you can see that the Aroon up first rises above the 50 level and only afterwards crosses the Aroon down. Continued values of both the Aroon up and Aroon down below the 50 level are an indication that the market is moving sideways. Indeed, this implies that neither new highs or new lows were identified in the last half of the pre-specified period. Another way that consolidating markets can be recognized is if both the Aroon up and Aroon down move down simultaneously and parallel to each other. This means that the time interval to both the most recent high and low increases simultaneously. This can only mean that the price is moving rather sideways. The Aroon indicator is a versatile indicator that is quite unique as it focuses primarily on the elapsed time and compares it to the evolution of the stock price. To do so, two indicators lines are used, the Aroon up and Aroon down line. An Aroon up above 50 and Aroon down below 50 presents a bullish picture. An Aroon down above 50 and Aroon up below 50 is bearish. An Aroon up that crosses the Aroon down upwards tells us that buyers are becoming stronger. If the Aroon down crosses the Aroon up, it is the other way around and sellers are gaining momentum. An Aroon up which is rising above 50 while the Aroon down stays below means that a potentially bullish trend is forming. If it is the Aroon down line that rises above 50 while the Aroon up remains below it, then the odds are in favor of a new bearish trend. An Aroon up that reaches 100 and can hold these high values over a longer period is a clear sign of a strong bullish trend. An Aroon down at 100 for a longer period of time is an obvious sign that the bearish trend is running at full power. If both the Aroon up and Aroon down are below 50 at the same time, it is a sign of a sideways trend. And the same is true if the Aroon up and Aroon down are running parallel to each other from top to bottom. There you go, this concludes our explanation of the Aroon indicator. On our website there are two articles available regarding the Aroon indicator. One article is a written version of this video. The second article gives some more information about the screening options in ChartMill based on the Aroon indicator and describes a case study of the use of this indicator in a trade setup. I will include the direct link to both articles in the description below this video. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Till next time, trade safe.